This girl gets pregnant by accident, yet her boyfriend abandons her. To avoid disgrace, her father finds a humble man in the countryside. When Ray meets Livy for the first time, he freezes. He barely dares to look at her, barely breathes, and even his hands shake when he pours water. He tries to steady himself, but nothing works. This is where things quietly shift. Livy wastes no time. She asks, "Do you think you'll be able to love the baby?" Ray answers without hesitation. He simply nods, as if it's the easiest thing in the world. Turns out, that moment changes both of them. 8 minutes later, they step into marriage. The ceremony is simple, almost too simple. Ray's sister and brother-in-law act as witnesses. The pastor's wife plays the piano. Even though the church holds only a handful of people, the pastor still walks through the whole ritual. Ray even forgets the rings, but somehow, the moment still feels solemn. Livy doesn't mind the missing rings. To her, this marriage only exists to satisfy her father. Her heart is still tied to the man who left her behind. Yet fate has its own plans, and nothing prepares her for the months ahead. After the wedding, they ride half a day in a farm truck until Ray's home finally appears. It is the only house in sight. The nearest neighbor is Ray's sister, 13 kilometers away. The world feels empty, and Livy's heels look painfully out of place on the wild, uneven ground. She steps down, stiff and unsure. Everything feels foreign: the land, the silence, the man standing beside her. But Ray tries his best to soften her unease. He opens the door gently and says, "Welcome home." Livy pauses. She steps inside anyway. She still hasn't accepted her role. Not really. The house is simple but tidy. Ray has prepared everything he can. He bought a new fridge and cold Coke to match her city habits. He installed a water heater in the bathroom. He arranged the brightest room for her and squeezed himself into a tiny one. It's his quiet way of saying he cares. For a moment, Livy softens. This man, who looks rough at first glance, turns out to be surprisingly thoughtful. Maybe life here won't be impossible. But at their first dinner, the cracks show. Livy admits she can't cook and wants a cookbook. Ray tells her the library is an hour away. The room grows awkward. When she talks about Troy, her graduate research subject, Ray barely understands a word. Their worlds stand miles apart. Ray tries to ease the tension. He gets up to clear the plates. His gentleness throws Livy off balance. Eventually, she asks the question buried deep inside. "Why did you marry a pregnant woman like me?" Her voice trembles with guilt. Ray simply says, "When the pastor came to me, I thought it must be God's will." His answer stuns her. It lifts the shame she has carried. She suddenly feels small for doubting him. That night, they return to their separate rooms. Ray writes their first meeting in his notebook, unwilling to miss a single detail. Livy, meanwhile, sits alone with her memories. She tries on earrings her sister gave her. She opens her locket. Inside is a photo of her ex in uniform. The mixture of longing and hurt finally breaks her, and she quietly cries in the dark. She expects a restless night, yet she sleeps until morning. Ray, already up, follows the rhythm of farm life. Curious about him, she steps into his room. It is neat, plain clothes in the closet, small items carefully arranged. A ticking pocket watch catches her eye. Footsteps outside make her jump. She closes the drawer and walks downstairs. Ray returns with groceries and a clingy farm dog she doesn't like. She asks to drive into town and call her family. Ray refuses, saying the truck is hard to handle. He insists on driving her himself. Livy frowns. She suspects he's controlling her, but she stays quiet. On the road, she looks at the endless farmland. She offers to help with the work. Ray gently refuses again. 2 refusals plant doubt in her heart. In town, she calls her sister. Her sister says, "If he treats you badly, I'll come get you." Livy glances back at Ray. "He seems fine," she says, but what she truly wants is news of her ex. While she makes her call, Ray slips into the library. He borrows a cookbook, a newborn care guide, and a book on Troy. He wants to care for her, but more importantly, he wants to understand her world. On the way back, Ray hands her the wheel. She realizes he wasn't lying. The truck is indeed terrible to drive. For the first time, she smiles. A genuine smile. She sees workers in the fields. "Do they all work for your farm?" Ray answers. "For our farm." The word "our" hangs in the air. Livy stays silent. Ray continues his quiet acts of kindness. At church, gossiping ladies surround Livy, eager to dig into her story. Ray steps in without hesitation and pulls her away. For the first time, Livy feels protected. But she still can't let go of the past. When Ray isn't looking, she mails another letter to her ex. Days pass. Ray senses her sadness and takes her rowing on the lake. She relaxes for the first time, shoes off, eyes closed, soaking in the peace. Ray steals glances at her silhouette. He wishes time could stop. He tells her he just wants her to unwind, and for a moment, her heart ripples. As she adapts to farm life, she walks farther into the fields. One day, she meets 2 Japanese-American sisters working there. Because of Pearl Harbor, they were taken to internment camps and sent here for labor, yet they still find time to observe butterflies among the grass. Livy connects with them instantly. Before they part, she invites them to visit her home. Life finally seems brighter, but during a prenatal check,
everything collapses again. Her due date is far earlier than she thought, around the 5th month of marriage. People will talk. They will say Ray is raising another man's child. She leaves the hospital restless, but Ray stays calm. He says no one will say anything because people want them to be happy. To her surprise, his words bring relief. Wanting to repay him, she cooks for the first time. Ray watches her back and feels the urge to hold her, but when he senses her tension, he steps away. She makes chili fried eggs. Ray takes a bite and instantly turns red from the spice. Still, he praises it with a straight face. When she turns away, he gulps water. A sudden roar outside saves him. Ray rushes out. Livy follows and sees a bulldozer. She only mentioned once that she liked swimming. Ray remembered. He plans to dig a pool for her and the baby. She is stunned. She never imagined a place for herself and her unborn child in his future. Ray's family comes to help. His niece asks about Livy's locket, but her mother quickly stops her. Clearly, the family knows nothing about the baby's true father. Ray's sister tells Livy, "He's doing all this to make you happy," but Livy still keeps her guard up. Soon they attend Ray's sister's birthday party. Livy claims she can't dance. Ray says gently, "Your presence is enough." She asks him, "Aren't you curious about the outside world?" Ray answers, "I like sleeping on my own land." Livy scoffs, "People only guard land temporarily. Your family's ownership is just 100 years. In history, that's nothing." Ray looks at her and says, "In my short life, it is everything." The words strike her. She has knowledge, but he has depth. At the party, everyone dances. Ray pretends he doesn't want to dance either, but the rhythm betrays him. Livy finally asks him to dance. On the dance floor, Ray transforms. His movements speak what his words cannot. It's the first time she sees the man behind the quiet exterior.
Livy follows Ray's lead and sinks into the joyful swirl of the dance floor. Watching his sister's family laugh and move in harmony, she feels a sudden pull toward the kind of life she has never truly had. Her feelings become complicated. Days later, the Japanese-American sisters return for another visit.
They reveal their education, their struggles, their shared experiences. The three women bond instantly. Livy is thrilled to have real friends. She shares this joy with Ray, but Ray's casual, "Are they Japanese?" ruins her mood. Even though he clarifies he holds no prejudice, she lashes out. She insists he will never understand how wonderful it feels to talk about something other than crops. Her old frustrations surface. Ray realizes something is wrong and falls silent. At dinner with Ray's family, his brother-in-law asks about planting soybeans. Ray glances at Livy. She just shakes her head, unable to join the conversation. Ray finally understands. She doesn't belong in these topics. So when asked what he's thinking, he answers, "Troy." Livy's eyes widen. Ray mentions a few details and then gives the stage to her. She lights up instantly, talking passionately. Then she turns to Ray. "So Ray, are you going to plant some beans this year?" Ray smiles. The whole table warms. On the way home, they exchange shy glances. That night, at the stairs, Ray leans closer, wanting to kiss her. She dodges. Yet the moment the door closes, her heart thumps in panic. In the days that follow, Ray works as always. He reads the archaeology book during breaks. Livy sits outside reading quietly, her belly growing day by day. Then her sister arrives. Stylish, elegant, glowing. She sees Livy's plain clothes and dusty surroundings and feels heartbroken. She urges Livy to return to the city. She suggests they lie about Ray, claim domestic violence, say she escaped. Livy refuses instantly. She can't smear Ray. He is the gentlest man she has ever met. Her sister leaves, and Livy pulls out another letter, still writing to the ex who never responded. She just wants closure.
She tells Ray her sister wanted her to leave, but she chose to stay. Ray stops for a moment. A smile forms before he can control it. Something inside him finally relaxes. He even starts humming, unable to hold the joy down. He says he's practicing early, so he can use the tune to calm the baby to sleep someday. This is the first time he lets his hope show. Days pass. Livy adapts. She drives the sisters around town. They sew her maternity clothes. Their bond grows. One day, she finds an abandoned air raid shelter. Fascinated, she brings home old relics. But the next day, Ray burns them, thinking they're trash. Livy explodes. "This is your family's history." Ray panics and saves what he can from the fire. He apologizes sincerely. He still doesn't understand, but he understands her. He says, "If it makes you happy, I'll do anything." The next morning, she finds a note and a flashlight. Ray tells her the basement holds more witnesses of the past. She rushes down. The old items thrill her like buried treasure. She cleans them carefully and decorates the home. Even the old plow becomes wall art. Ray doesn't get it, but he smiles anyway. Later, Ray shows her something truly important: the family graves. She learns Ray once had a younger brother who died in Pearl Harbor. Ray stayed on the farm so his brother could pursue his dream in the Navy. Ray carries guilt for surviving. Livy touches his back gently. Their bond deepens quietly. To help her contact family, Ray installs a phone. Livy plants her small garden. Both of them begin to change for each other. Winter arrives. Snow falls softly. The dog she once disliked now sleeps inside the house. Every evening, she waits for Ray's truck. She prepares candlelit dinners. But one night, Ray storms in. He yells at the dog, "Get out now!" Livy freezes. This isn't him. Then he pulls out a letter. The ex finally replied. Livy realizes she forgot she even mailed it. Ray leaves the house in the snow, hurt beyond words. She watches him go, stunned by her own mistake. Ray spends the night outside in the snow. Livy lies awake, staring into the dark. She finally understands how foolish she has been. The next morning, she wakes up early for once. She makes breakfast for him. Ray refuses gently, but his tone stays soft. He still can't be cruel to her. Livy wants to apologize, yet she can't bring herself to mention the letter, so she starts with the dog instead. She admits she used the dog to say sorry. Then she confesses something else. She once snooped in his drawer and saw the pocket watch. Ray pauses. He tells her it was his father's. Every time he looks at it, he remembers how his father treated his mother. He wants to be that kind of man. Livy's throat tightens. She keeps saying, "I'm sorry." Ray turns away, ready to leave, but her trembling voice and wet eyes pull him back. He steps forward and kisses her. It's their first kiss. Livy doesn't push him away, but she doesn't lean in either. Ray senses it. Before he leaves, he asks quietly, "Is there anything about me that you like?" She has no answer. Guilt weighs on her. Later, she drives through the snow to Ray's sister's house. She tells her everything, from the ex's letter to her plan to leave. She explains that the ex refuses to admit the baby is his. He denies responsibility completely. Livy was hurt by him, and now has hurt Ray in turn. She feels like she ruins every good thing that comes close. Ray's sister listens in silence. Her heart aches for her brother. She tells Livy, "If you want to leave, do it sooner. The longer you stay, the more it will hurt him." Livy decides to leave after Thanksgiving. She hopes a clean ending will hurt less. That night, Livy has a nightmare. She wakes up screaming. Ray rushes into her room, still half asleep, and holds her shoulders until she calms down. His concern makes her shame burn even hotter. She keeps thanking him through broken breaths. Thanksgiving arrives. Ray and Livy bring gifts to the two sisters at the farm. The younger one pulls Livy aside. She wants a favor. She asks Livy to take her and her boyfriend out for a drive. Livy agrees without thinking too much. At the Thanksgiving table, everyone prays for the war to end soon. Livy suddenly thanks them all. She says that in less than 5 months, she has received more love from them than from her father in 25 years. She says she has finally felt what family means. Everyone smiles, thinking she is just emotional. Only Ray's sister understands these are farewell words. That night, Livy packs her suitcase. She plans to leave after fulfilling the promise to the younger sister. She heads downstairs and finds Ray waiting by the door. The dog is inside. Ray has broken the family rule. He lets the dog stay in the house, for her. His eyes are wet. He doesn't hide it. He tells her, "Even if you're going to leave, I need you to know I already love you. You are the best thing that ever happened to me." He promises to do everything he can to give her the peace and happiness she longs for. Then he takes out the ring he once forgot at the wedding. He kneels and asks her to stay. Livy can't say yes. She feels unworthy. Her guilt is heavier than his ring. But then Ray says softly, "One day, you've got to forgive yourself." Those words hit her heart like a crack of thunder. He is the first person who sees the real prison she lives in, the one inside herself. The next day, Livy drives down the country road, heading to meet the sisters. She looks at the ring on her finger and smiles without realizing it. Soon, she meets the two sisters and the younger one's boyfriend. The man wears the uniform of an American guard, but Livy's eyes are trained. She notices the details. He isn't a guard, he's a German POW. The outing is actually an escape. The younger sister wants to help him run. She believes it is love, but Livy sees the truth. He is only using her. As someone who was once used, she recognizes it instantly. She asks the girl quietly, "If he loves you, why won't he stay? Why ask you to risk everything? Helping a prisoner escape is treason. You put yourself and your family in danger." Her words cut through the girl's fantasy. A long silence follows. Finally, Livy forces both sisters out of the car. She tells them to go home. She turns to the man and says, "It's easier if I just take you alone. Less chance of being noticed." He believes her. Livy drives away with him, but heads back to her own home. She tells him his fake uniform won't pass inspection and invites him inside to change into Ray's clothes. Once he goes upstairs, she leaves the car keys on the table, clearly visible. Then she steps outside, removes the spare fuel can from the truck, and quietly sets it aside. Back in the kitchen, she pretends to make coffee. She gives him just enough time to spot the keys. As expected, he takes them and runs. The engine roars outside. Livy knows he has taken the bait. She picks up the phone and calls the authorities. Just as she finishes the report, her water breaks. Pain surges through her body. Still, she calls Ray. Her voice shakes, but she gets the words out. On the road, the man runs out of fuel and is easily captured. Livy burns his fake uniform at home. Then she rips off the locket with her ex's photo and throws it into the flames. The metal heats, darkens, and disappears. This time, she truly says goodbye. Ray rushes back as fast as he can. The baby is born, a healthy boy. Ray holds his son carefully, as if one wrong move might break him. He hums the lullaby his father once sang to him. The tiny child quiets in his arms. Livy watches them. The anger, guilt, and confusion inside her finally settle. She knows she has chosen right, and this time, she chooses with both heart and mind. Winter melts into spring. Snow disappears. The flowers Livy planted at the first snowfall now bloom at the doorstep. Their colors spill across the yard. On this piece of land, a small family starts its quiet life. There is nothing grand, nothing legendary, just simple days, shared meals, small arguments, and laughter that drifts out over the fields. It is ordinary, and it is warm. For Livy, Ray, and their son, this is more than enough.